Hey there, everybody, and happy Wednesday. This is part 2 of our 5-part series, Who is Wakulla Reports, an overview of the who, what, when, where, and why. So in the last video, we covered the who. Now we're going to cover the what. What is the goal? So what is and is not the goal of Wakulla Reports? The number one goal is transparency. If you will go and Google public records or public records law in the nation, or who has the most open public records law, Florida will come up in your Google search. We have the broadest public records law in the nation, Florida Statute Chapter 119, Government in the Sunshine. Previously on Facebook, I have posted the link to the Government in the Sunshine manual. I believe that is updated annually. There are specific exemptions. That's what the manual is for, to show you what they are. So number one goal is transparency. After that is getting the community interested in local politics. So myself included, never cared for politics, wasn't a big fan, didn't pay attention to it for a really long time. And yes, sometimes it can be like watching paint dry. We are fully aware. The point of this is to condense it, get it out to you fast, get it out to you in a condensed format. Unfortunately, doing that, you're going to get a little bit of opinion. So I encourage you that if you aren't interested in my opinion, that is totally fine. Please just mute me, look at the records, make your own educated decision. That brings me to the next bullet point, educating the public about events that rarely make it in the news and following through on events that do make it in the news. So if you kind of think about it, what are our big four, right? We have WTXL, we have WCTV, we have Wakulla News, and we have the Wakulla Sun. Well, WTXL and WCTV are both big ticket guys, right? They cover the whole Big Bend. You're talking Gadsden County, Jefferson County, Wakulla County, maybe even a little Liberty County, Franklin County. So their time is limited, their staff is limited. Having an actual investigative reporter that can go down rabbit holes all the time. You have the Tallahassee Democrat too. They are, of course, they're another one that covering a Big Bend large area. So then you have our two small local newspapers. I know that Wakulla News was purchased by somebody else, but looks like they got some great people in there. But there's only a couple of them, I think. Doesn't look like they have a huge staff. I know that Wakulla Sun doesn't. So, how much time do these guys have to keep up with all the community events that are going on, all the other things that are going on, and the actual politics? So, or let's not even say the politics, just see the inner workings of our civic institutions. They can't keep up with everything that's going on. To be fair, I can't either. It's our contributors that make us we, and it's our contributors that help keep us moving forward. So with that said, our goal is just to bring you things that are floating around under the surface, things that not everybody can keep up with. If it is something that makes it into the local news that has to do with our civic institutions, we're going to cover that too. So we want to keep up with anything that's happening in the civic institutions, being, county government, maybe the sheriff's office. I try not to get too much into that because, it's our sheriff's office, right? And I've never had a really big beef with them personally. Now, some of you that I've talked to have some real issues with it. And, sometimes you're afraid to speak your piece. So anyway, if you gave me something that, was irrefutable, I would take a look at it. And then we'll go from there. So we'll have those conversations online. But anyway, civic institutions, we're interested in the things of our government workings that the news just cannot keep up with. And then helping citizens vote with knowledge. Well, if you look at all the above, the other 3 bullet points, that kind of tells you everything you need to know. I voted for many, many years being very uneducated, going off of a radio commercial or ads on the TV or something I read in the newspaper, 1 article, 2 articles, or somebody said, hey, that's a good person. I never really paid attention to the underlying inner workings of the government, what is actually happening. So that's the other goal, is to get you to vote with knowledge. It's okay to have a different opinion. I don't expect everybody to see things the way that I do, and we don't. I talk to many of you through email, through Facebook, through just casual conversations when I've run into you in a parking lot, and we don't all see it the same, and that's okay. If we were all the same, the world would be just so boring. Anyway, those are our big, top four. And then the next is kind of going back to the transparency. Basically, we're just displaying the items that you just don't have time to look for. You got kids, you got soccer practice, you've got to take care of mom and dad if they're aging, maybe you're moving, maybe you're remodeling your house, whatever it is you're doing, you just don't have time to go and do a public records request, figure out what is this, highlight that, put this there. And to be fair, I don't really have all the time in the world. I do work a full-time job, as I said in the who part. So doing the videos and putting the documents that way is much easier for me. And I think I would hope it would be easier for you because it is on Rumble. They actually have an app too, by the way. And then you can just scroll on your phone if you're at the soccer game or you're at something where, you're at the doctor's office. You have a few minutes to scroll and look and see what's going on in your community as far as your civic institutions. So hoping that it benefits everybody, that we display the things for you that take a little bit of time to actually get your hands on, even though they're available to you if you ask for them. So we're not putting anything out there that's a secret. It's just getting the information out in front of you so that you can make an educated decision. And if you need to mute me, mute me. I mean, I hope you don't unfollow because I really want you to have the information, whether you like what I have to say or not. That's here nor there. If you don't like what I have to say, mute me and just look at the documents. Read for yourself. Or go to the link. The Fire Drive is where I'm putting everything, and I'm linking that on Facebook and in the comments. So if you don't even want to watch the video, just keep a link to the Fire Drive. Something new hits, just go check it every now and then. I'm fine with that. Now, what is not the goal? That's a big deal. So the goal is not to humiliate anybody. Humiliation or harassment or anything like that is not acceptable. I mean, we just saw, the arrest of some of our public officials and a citizen kind of for the same thing. Never the goal to harass or humiliate anyone or cause them personal harm. So a lot of times you'll see me redact above and beyond what the government would. The reason for that is just because someone questioned the government, or just because they got a settlement, or just because they did this or they did that, or maybe they weren't in the right and they were just trying to whistleblow and they didn't realize they were really whistleblowing on something that wasn't any good anyway, right? Like maybe the policy was already there, or maybe they were just wrong. Regardless of right or wrong, they were a citizen. They were using their voice, and I just can't see putting someone's personal information out there just because they're questioning their government, right? They're a taxpayer. They help pay those government people. So if you see me further redacted, that's why. There is no goal of personal harm. I don't believe in putting people's personal information out there. So, you'll always have the case number. You can see it on the actual documents. There's going to be documents where you'll be able to see stuff and decipher it and go dig for it if you want to. I think it's a little petty. I do try to pay attention to the quality of people that are involved in things like that. So, if you want to, that's up to you. But I'm certainly not going to put anybody's name out there. I'm just not going to do it, and I don't know what to tell you. So exceeding the standards of personal privacy, we've already covered that. So it looks like we covered everything. This is part 2. There will be a part 3. I don't know if I'll make it to get to it this weekend. Probably next week. I've got a couple of other videos I've got to push out. I just got some new audio equipment. So I'm hoping this is much, much better for you, sound-wise. And last before I go, if you haven't checked out the post that we put on Facebook about the airport and advanced life support services via helicopter, I think you should check it out. Also, if you can tune into the county commission meeting on December 9th, which is Monday, because we'll be getting the full agenda, so I'll probably be busy with that this weekend, getting you guys a video so that you know the highlights. December 9th, the actual air transport service is going to be doing a presentation. From my understanding is this doesn't cost the county anything, but they do need some type of certificate, and time is kind of the essence. So if you need more information, inbox me. If you're interested in it, inbox me, and I can attach you to the person who, is really, really interested in getting this for our community. I just know that I see a lot of times on the Wakulla Citizens page that people are very interested in a hospital or something of that nature. Well, the fact that we don't have one, this is super important. Advanced life support services through a helicopter. I mean, you're getting the creme de la creme of healthcare. So, or emergency healthcare. But anyway, especially if it doesn't cost, anything. All the things our county spends money on, and this doesn't cost anything. So it's very cool. And so we're going to go at the next video as soon as we can. And I'm just awaiting for that full agenda to drop. As soon as it does, we will get it out to you as soon as possible.